Hey guys, it's Billy Bonsai and hope your day is going well. And sorry it's been a while from these videos. I've been just working on that character building, the inner architect content, and hope you guys are liking it. I just released it for members and you can view it if you are a subscriber to my YouTube. That was a big project and I feel great to be finished with it. Had a great workshop and really have grown a lot since making them because it was one of the most complex and complicated videos I've ever done. And so it took me a very long time to do it. And I wanted to take the time to do it because I thought that content was very empowering and special, because it really is a guide for attaining higher states of consciousness and being able to master the mind rather than being controlled by it. So check it out. Hope you like it. I'd love to hear your feedback and what you think of it. And if it has helped you to understand the astral dimension more and how to protect your aura and your energy body from these limiting thoughts and beliefs about yourself. So it's a very interesting take on understanding your own intellectual nature and the capability and potential of pure consciousness, which is what you really are. And another thing I want to emphasize in that content, which I find very, very important in your spiritual journey, is the ability to speak your truth. And that is only an outcome of this triad of self-discipline, which is right thinking, right speaking, which then inspires right acting. And the best film to convey this truth or this idea of this triad of self-discipline is Captain America. Because Captain America and the shield symbolizes truth, pure consciousness. And when you understand that this archetype is a character that is based on this idea of selflessness versus the idea of selfishness, which is represented in Tony Stark and Iron Man. That's why the film Captain America Civil War is one of my favorite films about this idea of speaking your truth. And speaking your truth is very painful and hard because most of the time it affects people around you in this comfort zone. And so when you speak your truth, you always know that there's going to be some consequence to it. But the whole point of speaking your truth is self-love, because then you're able to express what's inside of you that needs to be expressed. And it's necessary in order for growth, in order to have real relationships with people. And it makes you feel more in tune with yourself and have a more sense of peace and love inside, because you're able to speak your truth no matter the outcome. And whenever you speak your truth, the whole world listens because it is coming from a pure place. And the people that can't understand it are the people that need to hear it the most, no matter how hard and difficult it is. And that's why at times I feel that I don't care as much about what other people think of me, because I know in the end I'm just speaking my truth and how I feel. And in no way I'm attempting to hurt or abuse or neglect or discourage anyone. It's just that the truth is what people need to hear. And sometimes it is really hard. And sometimes it is painful. But when it's coming from a place of love and compassion, then you know deep down it's the thing that you need to hear in order to grow. And so when you look at the film Captain America Civil War, and this idea of facing your truth, no matter how hard it is, no matter how hard it might be to hear the truth, that you have to take full responsibility of your life, of your thoughts, your words, and your actions. That is the truth that builds a strong character, a strong consciousness. And the conflict between Iron Man and Captain America is the conflict that you have with your intellect and your heart. Because the heart is always speaking in truth and in love, while the mind sometimes falls for lies because it wants to feel that it's taken responsibility and accountability for itself. But really it's compromising itself because it doesn't want to hurt or ruffle anyone's feathers. When really deep down you have to know what you're doing is right. And if you don't know, then you start to compromise and you don't speak your truth.
You are being uncharacteristically non-hyperverbal.
It's because he's already made up his mind.
Boy, you know me so well. Actually, I'm nursing an electromagnetic headache. That's what's going on, Cap. It's just pain. It's discomfort.
You then give up your freedom of choice and free will, because now you are trying to please others instead of pleasing yourself or speaking your own truth and your own experience of life and yourself.
There's no decision-making process here. We need to be put in check. Whatever form that takes, I'm game. If we can't accept limitations, we're boundaryless, we're no better than the bad guys.
Tony, if someone dies on your watch, you don't give up.
Who said we're giving up?
We are for not taking responsibility for our actions. This document just shifts the blame.
Sorry, Steve, that is dangerously arrogant. This is the United Nations we're talking about. It's not the World Security Council. It's not SHIELD. It's not Hydra.
No, but it's run by people with agendas, and agendas change.
That's good. That's why I'm here. When I realized what my weapons were capable of in the wrong hands, I shut it down, stopped manufacturing.
Tony, you chose to do that. If we sign this, we surrender our right to choose. What if this panel sends us somewhere we don't think we should go? What if there's somewhere we need to go and they don't let us? We may not be perfect, but the safest hands are still our own.
If we don't do this now, it's gonna be done to us later. That's the fact.
So like, no matter what happens in your life, to every person you meet, you have to speak your truth. And whenever you don't, it creates a war inside your mind that's represented in this film, Civil War.
Our very strength invites challenge. Challenge incites conflict. And conflict breeds catastrophe. Oversight. Oversight is not an idea that can be dismissed out of hand.
As much as you might think that you're doing something right by compromising yourself and not speaking your truth and making other people happier, you then cause depression. And because you limit your own power and your own energy, it creates catastrophe and war, because you see yourself as not important compared to the environment around you, which is you. So you're basically limiting yourself because you're afraid of what other people think of you, or what you think of yourself when you're this true, honest, and pure state of consciousness in every moment.
I asked her once how she managed to master diplomacy and espionage in a time when no one wanted to see a woman succeed at either. And she said, compromise where you can. But where you can't, don't. Even if everyone is telling you that something wrong is something right. Even if the whole world is telling you to move, it is your duty to plant yourself like a tree, look them in the eye and say no. You move.
And when you're able to do that in every moment and speak your truth to no matter who the person, place, or thing is, then you become free of this limited aspect of your mind, because it is always in pain. And the end conflict where Captain America is trying to protect Bucky, which is his lifelong friend, which represents the lower warlike animal soul, part of our mind that has been programmed, and it's basically like mind control to be at war at all times. And so this represented in Bucky, which is Captain America's best friend, that he has to try to show the world that it's not his fault because he's been mind controlled. This part of our mind we have to start to love, like Luke and Darth Vader and his father in Star Wars. We have to start reprogramming this lower warlike mind, Bucky, into a more loving state of being, to remember who you really are. You are this best friend and not this warlike mind that you've been mind controlled to. And the intellect always is in battle with that, because it is always trying to see what is happening. It's like it looks to the physical and that every action requires a consequence, but not knowing that that action that was mind controlled, and what you weren't even able to control your mind into doing something positive. We've all been programmed to go to war with people, with everyone, with ideas of polarity, good versus bad, me versus them, and men versus women. So once you see that that lower warlike state damages your heart and your mother, and that is symbolized with Iron Man finding out that this lower warlike mind killed his mother and his father, this pure state of consciousness of his heart and his mind, which is the father. And then Tony realizes that Captain America has always known this, and yet he didn't tell him. This is the one truth he didn't tell him. And because of that, they go to war with each other. And this war is about truth. It is not about anything else besides the intellect versus the heart not wanting to hear the truth because of pain. And no matter the pain that you feel, you have to be able to sit with that, because that is what truth is. There is no way that you can live a life with a pain-free life. That's part of existence in creation. There is always pleasure with pain, and vice versa. Those are the polarities of each other. So when you look at life, you can't have a life without pleasure or pain. So when you speak your truth, there's always a consequence. But when you speak your truth, it is always coming from a level of non-duality, because it is pure consciousness reflecting itself to you, the state of being in which it is at.
We're taking a break. It's nobody's fault.
I'm so sorry, Tony. I didn't know.
A few years ago, I almost lost her, so I trashed all my suits. Then we had to mop up Hydra, and then Ultron. My fault. And then, I never stopped. Because the truth is, I don't want to stop. I don't want to lose her. I thought maybe the Accords could split the difference. In her defense, I'm a handful. Yeah, Dad was a pain in the ass, but he and Mom always made it work.
You know, I'm glad Howard got married. I only knew him when he was young and single.
Oh, really? You two knew each other? He never mentioned that. Maybe only 1,000 times. God, I hated you.
I don't mean to make things difficult.
I know, because you're a very polite person.
If I see a situation pointed south, I can't ignore it. Sometimes I wish I could.
No, you don't.
No, I don't.
Sometimes I want to punch you in your perfect teeth. But I don't want to see you gone.
It's about Tony Stark's mind and this idea of Iron Man becoming pure consciousness. But you create these walls and this body around you, which is Iron Man, that's kind of like a cocoon that's protecting you from your truth. And you have to let go of this cocoon and face your truth, or else your altered ego will create a war and fear in you, and this idea that you have to destroy this evil for you to have peace. And that's the whole idea of Captain America and Iron Man going to war, is that your intellect, which is Iron Man, is always at war in creating this altered ego because it believes in polarity.
This is all he wanted. To see them rip each other apart.
I knew I couldn't kill them. More powerful men than me have tried. But if I could get them to kill each other... I'm sorry about your father. He seemed a good man. With a dutiful son.
Vengeance has consumed you. It's consuming them. I'm done letting it consume me.
But that evil is only because it exists within you, and so he experiences outside of itself. But if you can realize that in order to grow and to move on, you have to face this truth, which is painful, but that's the whole purpose of growth. Because out of pain is pleasure, is growth. And so if you look at that film with that concept of truth, know that whenever you're not speaking your truth to your family, to friends, to yourself, then you are lying to yourself and creating a civil war inside of your mind that is always in battle, because you don't want to face yourself, your limited negative thoughts about yourself. And then you begin to realize that you defend those limiting beliefs and thoughts rather than sitting with your own truth and growing from it. And that's why you have to be able to speak your truth no matter how the outcome is going to be. And whether it be you're afraid of the anger or the frustration or the pain that it's going to cause, you have to do it because that is self-love. And if you can have a safe space where you can speak your truth without it affecting people, then that's the best space to go to. And that's what I present in my workshops, is a safe space to speak your truth and to know that you're only going to get truth in return. And that's the whole idea of Captain America Civil War, is that when you don't speak the truth, the mind creates catastrophe, and there's always more pain.
I've been on my own since I was 18. I never really fit in anywhere, even in the army. My faith's in people, I guess, individuals. And I'm happy to say that for the most part, they haven't let me down. Which is why I can't let them down either. Locks can be replaced, but maybe they shouldn't. I know I hurt you, Tony. I guess I thought by not telling you about your parents, I was sparing you, but I can see now that I was really sparing myself. And I'm sorry. Hopefully one day you can understand. I wish we agreed on the accords. I really do. I know you're doing what you believe in, and that's all any of us can do. That's all any of us should.
But if you're able to listen to the truth and sit with the pain, you will only expand and grow from it, because it is coming from the heart. And you have to listen more to your heart in order to ascend, because all of us and our minds are in, all our consciousness is in the mind, and we have to learn to move it into the heart to have a more balanced life and energy.
So no matter what, I promise you, if you need us, if you need me, I'll be there.
So I hope this video has helped you to understand the power of your consciousness and why truth is so important on your spiritual journey and growing into the person and being that you are meant to become, which is your destiny. And please don't forget to subscribe to 58 on YouTube and click the alert button so you receive the notifications for all my future videos. And please join the 58 membership for weekly guided meditations and weekly content to empower your life.